Coming up on today's episode.
Well, I think if they just jump in with massive bids, they're really pushing the auction up.
Yeah.
Coming unprepared, I see people turn up and it's the first time they've walked through the property. That really scares me. That is still happening.
Is that still happening?
Still happening.
What,
yes.
like no building and pest done, no
Nothing.
conveyance?
No contract review.
Oh, fuck, no.
Nothing.
No,
they
thank
just
you.
turn up and buy it.
Dodgy advice and bad decisions can cost you big in real estate. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen. Welcome to the No BS Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Jo Agresta, and it's time to take control of your property journey together.
Hi, I'm Corinne Turley from Turley Property Advocates, and I'm here today with Jo from No BS, and I'm about to go on her podcast. And we're talking about buyer remorse and overpaying. Let's go check it out.
Welcome back, everyone, to the No BS Real Estate Podcast, your listening how-to guide to the Aussie finance and real estate market. I'm your host, Jo Agresta. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get spoken about enough, buyer's remorse. Because here's a stat for you. According to the 2025 report from Finder, 47% of buyers exceeded their budget, which is up from 38% just in 2022. And almost half, at 45%, are actually unhappy with their recent purchase, having buyer's regret. So you go through this whole journey and process, you finally buy a home, and instead of feeling excited, you're sitting there thinking, did I just make a massive mistake? Today, we're unpacking why that happens, whether people are actually overpaying or if it's something else going on entirely. And to break it down with me, I'm joined by Corinne Turley, buyer's agent and founder of Turley Property Advocates, who's worked on both sides of the coin. She's worked in selling property for a long time and she's got a wealth of experience in real estate sales, but also equally working a long time as a buyer's advocate. So we're getting the best of both worlds today. Her business is built, today is built mostly and entirely on referrals, working with both owner-occupiers and investors to help them make smarter, more strategic property decisions. She's also been nominated for Buyer's Agent of the Year through Momentum Media Awards. Congratulations, which is no small feat. So Corinne, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jo, for having me.
I'm
excited.
Oh my God, I'm so pumped, right?
Yeah.
Because this topic, when I went through the Finder survey, oh my God, because I wait for them to do a survey every couple of years. When I saw again that it had risen from 38% regret to 45%, that's devastating.
It's really high. I actually didn't know it was that high.
Yeah. And it's like, but you go through this whole journey of finding and buying a home. It's meant to be a happy time, and then you're filled with regret. And I'm seeing it more and more on Reddit than anything. People feeling this overwhelming grief over overpaying. They feel they've overpaid. So I'm excited to have you here as our expert today to help these buyers who are on the market thinking, I don't want to be that buyer. It's like, let's help you not be that buyer. So that's what we're going to do today.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, done. I think, one of the things we need to talk about first is how often are you actually seeing buyers walk away from a purchase questioning whether they've made the right decision? Like, I know for you it's different because you're supporting them, but if you look at your experience, especially in real estate, how much of the time do you see that?
I must admit, I don't see it a lot with my clients because they're really well informed along the way. Like it's a journey where I'm together and I keep them up to date with the process. But what I see is often we're moving fast. If there's one property we had 15 offers we were up against. So things can really move quickly. And I say that in the initial consultation, like sometimes it can take longer or sometimes we might find the right property and we've got to move fast. So I still do all the same things, I just at lightning speed.
You put the cape on and you get into power mode.
Drop everything, cancel everything and focus on this.
Wow.
But I think it can be quite exhausting for them as well. Even though I'm managing it, they say they feel less stressed. But obviously their emotions are high, they're anxious, and they're wanting to know, have we got it? Have we got it? Sometimes it can go for a couple of days. And then when we buy, I always call them the next day. I'm like, so how are you going? How are you feeling? They're like, oh, we didn't sleep very well last night, or we're over the moon, or what do we need to do now? I think it's more everything racing through their head going, okay, now what do we do? Like we've bought it. Do we need to get insurance? Like, what's the next step? Do we need to book a removalist? And it's more like they're processing all of that in their head rather than overpaying.
It's like that scramble of, oh, shit, what does this mean? Like, this is great. We did it. That's what we wanted. Now what?
Yes, reality sets in. Oh, we better let the broker know. We better do this and that. So I think, I've had some clients call me after we've bought. They're like, Corinne, we miss you. It's only been a week, but it's just because they're used to hearing from me all the time and spending so much time together. I'm like, you enjoying your Saturdays? Did you go out for brunch? Because you've got all this spare time. And I love that. I love hearing that.
Of course. And it's nice to hear that, when people go through the journey with yourself, that's the sentiment that they miss you, because you do spend a lot of time. Like, I'm an ex-advocate. You do spend so much time with your clients. They become part of you. And it is one of those things that when it's all over, you're like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what do I do now with my hands?
Well, I've got one of my clients now. She goes, well, I'm going to buy an investment property. I'm like, great, let's go again.
You get a hunger.
Got that relationship, so
And that says a lot, because you did real estate, like, just to, give a bit of backstory. Was it 25 years?
It was, as a sales agent, 19 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was quite a long time.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And I just find that so wild that you then transitioned into buyer's advocacy. So what made you kind of shift?
I just felt like it was time to do something different. I just felt like I was doing the same thing, the same area, and I wanted to stay in the industry. And I don't know, I just love property, love finding that deal, love adding value to it, making money from property. I think it was just a natural progression. And I ran into one of my clients recently from years ago. She was a buyer that bought a property from me. And she goes, Corinne, I could just tell it all makes sense. Like, I could tell that you enjoyed helping the buyers, and because you were standing with me and helping me. And I'm like, yes.
Because it's hard. Like, as a real estate agent, I think when you get a good real estate agent, there's a lot of empathy for the buyer. And sometimes, like, I even found myself, I started in sales, but not as long as you. I did it for 6 years. And I used to find I felt so bad for my buyers. I'm like, I need to tell you, don't buy this house. Okay, cool. I got that out of the way. You could go buy that house.
There were some results, like at auction. And I remember looking at one of these first home buyers and going, I can't believe you just paid that.
Yeah.
And it was for an apartment not far from here, actually.
Oh, God.
And in 10 years, I don't know if that's gone up in value. Like, I see this all the time. And that's where I enjoy helping people now, making those right decisions, sort of leading them, okay, this is where you should be parking your money here, buying this and not this.
And that's part of the, like, without getting into too much benefits and features, but part of why, I encourage people to use an advocate is because it is hard when you're going through it alone unless you've got like a very strict mentality around your budget to go, I have done enough research to know it's not worth paying more than this much for this property, no matter what happens.
That's right.
And people underestimate the emotions at auction. I always find that I'm like, when I've prepared buyers in the past, do you find the same thing? I'm like, the auction will move quick, you will get anxious, and you will want to offer way more.
That's why they're designed.
That's exactly right, because you panic. Even for us advocates, we're in that panic state too, but we have to regulate and go, hang on, it's not good for the client. Hold. We're holding here. And it is hard, but there's so much emotion. And with the way the agents talk to you, the auctioneer, oh, my God.
Oh, there's ego. People don't want to mess. And most people will go over their budget.
Yep, they will. And this is where that stat comes from. So a lot of the sentiment that came out of that was over auction being driven as one of the things that they felt they overpaid in.
Yes.
The other sentiment was just the perception that they were pushed by like the agent kind of conversation and but we didn't know if there was another buyer, competing offers, competitive market. Oh, no, we're never going to buy anything. Let's just get it done. And then it was that pressure of just wanting to get it done. And I find that scary.
Yeah, and it's tough out there for buyers, like especially first home buyers. They don't have the relationships with the agents. They haven't done it before.
Yeah.
And they all operate differently. There's so many different methods of sale. So if it's auction, at least it's transparent.
Yep.
But, if it's a sale by set date or, back and forth, or people question, is there really another offer there? They don't know.
Yeah, and the problem is even even for an advocate too, like we have to do a lot of that weeding out in those conversations to go, is there a buyer?
Yeah.
I have to sniff this out.
Yeah.
And it can be really hard because
Yeah.
we're also going, well, how much of this do we take as gospel? Yeah. And I find that's our superpower is navigating the bullshit.
Absolutely, yes.
And with you, 19 years experience.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't be.
Put that on. I'm so sorry.
I was going to say, we stopped the ring camera, but not everything else.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't be. Do you dare take it?
I'm not going to take a culture now.
Business is business,
No,
I get it.
Don't do that, disturb. Sorry.
I might keep this in. I like it.
I heard my emails pinging. Sorry.
I should keep it.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep it. All right, it's fine. You're human. We're human.
Yes,
and it shows busy professionals. We have to take time to educate, but also phone calls happen.
They do. Yes, a lot from me.
Oh, all the time, I'd imagine.
Yes.
And I guess, when we, go into this buyer's remorse space, right, it's what does that look like in real life? Like when your buyers finish with you, you kind of said like they're at that panic of, I don't know what to do now. What do we do?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that with them to kind of reassure them and go, it's cool, this is what we're doing?
I send them a step-by-step guide.
Love it.
So
love a guide.
They will get an email. Like I'm very sort of nurturing. So I want to make sure they're happy, they feel comfortable. I want them to leave on a high and a really good experience.
Yeah.
And I think that flows through because all my business is referral.
Yeah.
So I make sure that they've got everything they need, the contacts that they need. I'll check in with them. And I'm there the whole way. So right till settlement and beyond. So I'll be there for the final inspection. I'll be there if they want to go back and measure up. And they know that they can call me or text me anytime and I'll sort it.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's very undervalued by what people don't understand is when I'm talking about advocacy, it's the fact that you have someone to contact in this journey. That's not mum or dad if you're lucky enough to have your parents or, an uncle or an aunt that's done it before, family and friends. The value of having someone on call to go, hey, I saw this property. What do you reckon? And then someone who's not only like become a bit of your friend, but it's going, yeah, it's your friend that has all the property knowledge that goes, it's a lemon, don't don't even, or hey, this is really good. Let's investigate. Yeah. So I think people really devalue what you get for that support. I feel like that's invaluable.
Absolutely. And I find when I'm buying myself,
we need help.
I have to put my own hat on and go, Corinne, is this really what you want?
Yeah, I actually have I've disallowed myself to buy a loan for myself because I can't follow through. I'm like, for everyone else, I'll be like an attack dog, protection mode. Yep, we're sticking to budget. We're sticking to this. No, trust me. Then when it comes to myself, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm falling into traps. I'm falling into so many traps. I need someone else to do this. And I end up working with an advocate.
Yeah.
So
it's a good way to go.
I think so. And I think we're going to talk about our next deal because I'm doing investing. So I want to start, or not even start, but I want to introduce our no BS statement for the day. And this is what we do. If you're new here, what we do is we read out a statement at the start of the show, and then by the end, we're going to determine with Corinne if that's bullshit or not bullshit. So today's statement is, feeling like you overpaid doesn't mean you actually did. So we'll come back to that at the end and we'll decide. Now, the whole purpose of today's episode is this Reddit story I found. So shout out to our listeners who always submit consistently. We appreciate you guys. We have just started a subreddit for you all, so stay tuned on your emails. You'll be getting that soon. But this entry came from one of our listeners, and specifically why I wanted to have you on the show, Corinne, was I'm like, you're a perfect one to unpack this with. So I'm going to read out the post that was sent in, and it's titled, "How much did you overpay for your house?" This person says, like the title says, it would be interesting to know the stories of how much you knowingly or unknowingly overpaid for your property. Here's mine. Set date sale. We put an offer in of 1.08 million after the first home open. Apparently there were 6 offers after the first home open and we were the highest. Second home open was midweek, so not much traction. I had spoken to the real estate agent before putting in our offer and he told me how it would play out. Basically, people can put in their highest offers, and then he would come back to everyone and allow them one final chance to improve. On the final day, he called and said a cash offer had been made 10K more, 1.09 million. more than our original offer. It was a previous offer who bumped it up. Alarm bells start ringing, but we were subject to finance. We wanted the house and wanted no games, so we went 1.1 million. Long story short, we ended up getting the house. Enough of my story. I want to hear your story. When I say I overpaid, I mean could have got it cheaper. So the comments in this section are interesting, but firstly, what's your immediate reaction to that story?
Yeah, I think my immediate reaction is 6 offers. It's got a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And for an agent to make that up, I think it sounds pretty genuine that there is a lot of interest.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a winner by buying the property. Like,
interesting.
He secured it. So at the end of the day, it's the highest price and best terms it gets, especially in this scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you think of, just imagine it was in open slather for an auction. The difference is you can see it transparently at an auction.
That's true.
This you can't. You're relying on the agent's word that it is correct. But the fact to only go up another 10, I don't think that's a big jump.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unpack that for me, because some listeners are probably going, what?
Well, the scheme of things, we're talking 1.1 million.
Yeah.
So 10,000's not really a lot
True.
to increase.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at it over the mortgage term, what's 10 grand on that mortgage?
Well, if you look at it at capital growth, so if they've bought a good asset, so say a house in a good area that's going to appreciate a minimum of 6% per year.
Yeah.
They've already made 60K in the first year.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
What does 10 grand matter? Yeah, it's an investment. So it's about getting in. And if the market is moving, like I'm not sure when they bought this, but if the market is moving up, which that property I was telling you about before with 15 offers, I saw the market moving 100K a week into this window of this month. I'm not kidding.
What year are we talking, can I ask?
This was only a couple of months ago.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Sorry to swear the
a couple of months ago. Interstate investors buying up in Melbourne, and in one circumstance, I watched them. These are buyers advocates, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Not looking at the properties, just buying them for clients. He paid 100 above my offer to get it. Yeah. So this is what I'm seeing on the ground. And I'm not talking like millions of dollars. This property was sitting at 900,000. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So when you say 10, I'm like,
don't worry about that shit.
You won. You got the property. If there were 6 other offers there, you're the winner. You're the one making money on it. So I guess they've done well.
And I guess how much do you balance that emotion side, right? Because I always think if you're happy with what you've got, like if you genuinely know that you're going to have a happy life in that home, especially when it's owner-occ, like you're living in it. If you love that property and you've paid a little bit more, but you know you're going to be there for 10 years or for, 7 years or 5 years even, what's it worth to you to be comfortable and love your home?
That's right. It's in the scheme of things, it's all about getting in. And if you do really love that property, it doesn't really matter. But I think if you do your research before just going in and buying it, like if you're looking at what is sold in the area, you should have some confidence. If you're paying 200 above one that's identical, well then of course you'd have a bit of buyer's remorse because you just think you've overpaid.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
I think that makes the most sense. It's a really good comparison point to say, even you guys can do this on realestate.com. If you're not working with an advocate, go to realestate.com. Every property that you're seeing within that budget is a comparison. So you're like, well, why is that one 550 and why is this one 600 and they've got 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car?
Yeah.
Same
and
suburb.
I love realestate.com because it's got some really good features where you can search sold.
Yes.
You can minimise the time frame down to 3 months or 6 months, and you can go to map view.
Yes.
And in price range. So because obviously you're looking at every suburb has different pockets. So you want to really zone in on that pocket.
100%. And like that's just a small tip for you guys who are out there going, oh, okay, maybe I need to compare. You do, right? Because that's how you're going to stop that buyer's remorse kind of feeling. It's about knowing what has transacted.
Yeah.
And that's even what advocates do. We compare. We're like,
Absolutely.
why did that sell more?
Yeah.
Why did that go less? Like, we're always questioning the agent or calling them and having the discussions.
Yeah.
So, but I guess it's a good point that you said, like, you don't see this as regret. You see it as like a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because it's a different take. I wasn't sure how you were going to go on it. So I like what your outcome would have been. So I love that.
Yeah.
And how much of like that is actually overpaying versus what just the emotional come down after a big decision? Like, you know how we've got that heavy feeling after it's done. Like how much is it that shift of blame to just say I overpaid and I'm going to blame all my feelings on that versus just you were emotional, it's okay?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Like, don't beat yourself up. If it's a good property, it doesn't matter.
Well,
Yeah.
I think auction's a good place to talk about this because when you attend auctions as an advocate, you're kind of witnessing then all the public buyers who don't have representation. Where do you see this go wrong? Like, where do you see these buyers go wrong when you're observing?
Well, I think if they just jump in with massive bids,
like-
they're really pushing the auction up.
Yeah.
Coming unprepared, I see people turn up and it's the first time they've walked through the property. That really scares me. That is still happening.
Is that still happening?
Still happening.
What,
Yes.
like no building and pest done, no
Nothing.
conveyance?
No contract review.
Oh, fuck, no.
Nothing.
No,
they
thank
just
you.
turn up and buy it.
No.
I was having this conversation about a week ago with an agent and he said it still happens. Yeah.
Guys, PSA, bloody stop it. It's bad. It's so bad for you guys because
dangerous.
that's dangerous as. You don't know what you're walking into. Like I know people don't want to pay for the Section 32 or a building and pest before they commit to a property, but you're investing in an asset to live in. You're not paying for anything else apart from when you transact at the end. Put aside $4,000 for building and pests and Section 32s. That's what I would say at the start. Account for $4,000 and spend it there to do your due diligence.
Yeah. And you know, I find more people spend time on looking at reviews of restaurants and holidays and hotels than doing research on the properties they're buying.
I have a stat for you that you're going to love.
Okay.
Not you're going to hate, but you're going to love knowing it. We spend more time trying to decide on a Netflix show to watch than a property to inspect. So on average, we spend 45 to 60 minutes trying to pick a show on Netflix.
Wow.
On average, to buy the final asset, seeing it for the first time, we'll spend 20 to 30 minutes and then we'll buy it.
I don't fit into that stat at all.
No, neither do
not
I.
me.
I'm like, who took this vote? I have questions.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
scary to think.
Very scary.
We spend more time deciding on the stuff that's probably more minimal for your budget. Like you think of clothes.
Yeah.
We do the same thing. You know, we put it in our cart and then we abandon the cart. Then we get a reminder email saying, do you still want these pair of pants? It's like, I feel guilty, but I kind of want them. And then you do this back and forth for weeks.
Yeah.
But on property, you're like, I'll buy it now.
Yeah.
Here's all my savings.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I'm very thorough and considered and, you know, if I see something for myself that I'm buying, I know that I want it. I just work out the best way to get it. So I know I'm going to get it, but I want to make sure I still do all
Strategize.
my DD and then I buy it.
You execute it. And like that's half the battle. I think the strategy and the planning is one of those underrated parts of the service is how much – because like talk me through your process. Like when you get a client brief across your desk, what's the starting point?
Yeah. I think fine-tuning that brief, like I want to know why. Why do they want to buy this property and who are they? You know, are they buying it to live in? How long do they want to hold it for? Do they have kids? I want to actually know their day-to-day movements without being too stalkish. Like,
it's like in the bushes.
I want to know if you're sneaking off for an affair or anything. But I need to know where you're driving to work. How do you get to work? Like we dissect that in the very first meeting when they come on. So I know because it can make all the difference. Because if you move into a house and you've got to sit in traffic for an hour, that's not enjoyable.
No, bloody hell. It's shit.
And do they want kids? Do they need childcare? So I think it's more so for owner occupiers and investors. That's a whole different sort of strategy because we're looking at different strategies for investing. But especially for home buyers, it's a big one that a lot of people don't think about. And especially if you're younger and you're not married yet. Like things can change. You could get married, you can have kids. A lot can happen in 5 years. Yeah,
it's so true. And it can be, I'd imagine that it's challenging for some people to think that far ahead.
Of course.
Yeah, and go, I don't know. I just know I want it now, but I don't know what I see out of it.
No, and your first home is very rarely going to be your forever home.
Yeah.
Like it's just getting you in the door.
I've said this so many times on this podcast where I'm like, I'm actually sick of I'm boycotting the terminology first home. Yeah. I'm going to call it starter home because that's what we're buying. We're buying the start of your journey, a foundational property, that unlocks the first proper home that you're going to call home for maybe 10 years, for maybe a little bit longer. Not that your first home is not that. So there's a lot of, do you find that your buyers, like when they think of first home, they don't think of that? Maybe it's like a little bit of a rundown unit or, an older home that's a little bit further out, but it's got great potential, great capital growth.
Yeah.
They're not thinking of that. They're going straight to like the hot suburb, high entry point, and you're like, okay, where we're using your entire budget.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And I've had some people come to me with, this is my budget. They've handed me a map of Melbourne. So, like, pretty much from Eltham to Frankston. Right.
Wow. We've really narrowed it down. Yeah.
So that took a little bit of work, just working out, okay, let's go visit these areas. Like, I know what you can get and what's going to work for you in this suburb, this one. So I really narrowed that down.
Nice.
And sometimes that happens. I mean, you haven't bought before. You're not really tied to any particular area.
Yeah.
And you just know you're looking for capital growth, but you also want to enjoy the area to live in. So it's got to be a nice pocket as well. But I always say we're buying property, but we're dealing with people. Yep. So on both sides.
That's so true.
Buying side and selling side. So there's a lot to unpack and there's a lot of moving parts. But I guess fine-tuning that brief and why and timing in the initial stages flows on from there to finding the right property. And then when we get to that stage, I actually say go back for a second inspection without me. Sit on the couch, like open cupboards, like just feel at home. And then I just tell the agent to leave you alone, because I think that's where you'll really know, is this the property I want or not so much? Let's keep looking. Yeah.
I really love that as a tip, because I think a lot of people feel embarrassed to kind of walk through that property and check the cupboards, open wardrobes. And often I always say, at an open for inspection, 100% if there are people there, you'll feel intimidated to do stuff like that. But when you organise a private inspection, completely different. It's you and the agent. Yeah. You can do that stuff.
And it has a different feel to it, because at an open for inspection, if there's 50 people jammed in there, it creates this urgency. I don't want to miss out.
Yep.
So you're really thinking, I have to get in quick, and you might not be thinking, is this the right one? It just creates that urgency again.
Oh, it's such a mental trap, right? Because you see a lot of people in and then you go, crap. And you start overlooking things. You're like, oh, no, that's a great bathroom. Yep, that's a great kitchen. Yeah. And then you go to like another inspection, or maybe you reflect on it and you go, I actually don't remember the house, and I've made an offer.
Yeah.
What did the backyard look like?
Just go through the pile of brochures on your floor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me just figure this out. A quick pause. We'll be right back. Here's a word from one of our sponsors who supports the show. If you're in the middle of trying to buy property and you're overwhelmed by the hype, the noise, the pricing pressures and suburb trends, then this announcement's for you. Cameron Tyres from The Way to Invest works with everyday buyers or investors on how to actually navigate the property market and buy something before it becomes too overwhelming. Instead of speculation, he builds strategy first, so your purchase actually aligns with your long-term goals. If you want confidence instead of second guessing, then check out Cam Tyres details for The Way to Invest in our show notes below. And it can be like really scary. So I think, what's actually driving that is like competition, we've said, is one thing, but how much of it is it fear of missing out, competition, or ego? How would you weigh those in this context?
Oh, I think ego doesn't come down to everyone. It's probably only certain types of personalities at auction.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out is a big one.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
And I think it's hard because even fear of missing out triggers something in your brain of this is the only house all of a sudden in your mind that exists and that will ever exist.
Yeah.
And it starts driving and justifying. Like we've all been there.
Yeah.
And you would see that all the time. Like, how do you help your clients kind of regulate that emotion when do you ever notice it with them? Going, okay.
I've had some interesting scenarios. Sometimes I have two properties they want.
Oh, shit.
And there was one recently. A lot of my clients don't come with me to auction. Like I might have them on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And this was very recently, just a few weeks ago, and they had to get on a flight. They were going away on a holiday, and the auctions were the same day, a couple of hours apart.
Oh, my God.
And we had a meeting the day before on the Friday, and they couldn't decide. They could not decide which one. And I said, well, we need to have a strategy here.
It's like, 'cause
if I'm turning up to both auctions, and then after chatting to them for quite a while, I realised that the second auction was their favourite house.
how did you put that together?
This was weird.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'm so down for weird. Let's get weird.
the first auction, they said, try not to buy it, but don't miss it. So they said you can bid if there's other bidding and you're going to miss. But if it passes into you, great. Try and drag it out for a few hours until we can get to the next auction.
Right.
It's okay. So it was a weird
That's
scenario to be in. So I ended up bidding because there was another bidder.
Yeah.
It was just myself and someone else, and it went over our budget. So that meant we're out.
Yeah.
Which is great. So now we're like, okay, let's move on to your favourite one that we actually want.
Yeah.
And we secured that one. So it
good.
all worked out in the end, but it was pretty intense trying to buy a property but not buy it because they want the other one.
It's like we have to you have to try to buy it but don't buy it.
Yeah, because they liked both. So it's like, okay, which one do you like a little bit more?
Yeah, and you kind of unpacked it was the second one. But then, like you said, they still didn't want to miss out on the first one in case the second didn't work out.
Yeah. And this can happen when there's not a lot of stock to choose from.
Yeah.
You've got more buyers than property. And then if two come up on the same day, this was a big auction weekend, I'm seeing this dilemma a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Because this is a hard thing to battle against, in my opinion, especially for the buyers that are unsupported by an advocate, or some sort of, even a family member, someone just that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You're kind of going into this to be eaten alive in a lot of scenarios, especially auction. Auction I have a pet peeve with. I'm like, oh, God, I just feel like they're designed to get you that FOMO and
they are.
And get you paying up.
I do love auctions though.
They're exciting. They're exciting as I love watching them and observing. Bidding in one, absolutely can't stand it.
Well, one part I left out actually was they only told me that Friday, the day before, that they wanted me to bid on both.
Right. So the strategies are powering through.
My build and pest inspector, bless him.
Oh, yeah. How did you get that?
I called him Friday afternoon. He was there 6 a.m. on Saturday doing a build and pest.
What a legend.
Before the auction at 10.
What a legend. We need him on the show. We need to talk about that.
My conveyancer was reviewing the contract while her daughters were playing netball.
Oh, my
on Saturday morning.
God.
So this is the team of people I use that, as I said, sometimes things can move quickly. They just changed their mind and all of a sudden said, no, we want to go for them both.
Yeah.
So I had to be ready to spring into action.
But that's a testament to who you've built in your network, right? Because this is one of the other benefits I find to advocacy is there's connections that we have and there's favours we can pull at the last moment. Whereas if those buyers were on their own, what's the alternative? They would have called building and pest guy that would have said no.
Yeah, or maybe try and buy one. Sometimes you can buy one from an agent, but you don't know who's doing them. You don't have that relationship.
Yeah.
I don't ever recommend doing that.
No, and I know I'd be curious on your thoughts going off script here for a moment, but how I think it's the Allen government that's saying we will bring in, mandatory building and pest inspections to be introduced by the vendor. So the vendor has to pay for the building and pest and put that at the open, which, to be honest, I've been pushing for years just because I feel like that's due diligence that should happen. How many of these, now that calls into question, how many of these are going to be dodgied up, do you think?
I'm still using my guy.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care. Yeah. And that's the other thing, right? It's like your due diligence doesn't stop just because they've prepared a report.
Correct.
So I'm like, I feel like they should just be doing due diligence. You get your guy or your girl in to do that inspection and compare it like for like.
Yes, 100%. You don't know who's doing that report. You don't know how thorough it is. And I won't be the only person saying this. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that will still want to continue to get their own.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree because now it calls into question the quality, and that's what I think a lot of buyers are going to start to see is like, I don't know if I trust it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they're the ones that are going, why do we have to pay for this? Oh, no, you don't. But now it calls into question, well, hang on a minute. Now I don't know if I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bizarre, the shift.
It is. And it's an essential thing to do. I would never recommend to someone to buy a property without getting one done. Like, you need to know what's going on. There's only so much you can see on the surface.
Like, do you have an example like where, a buyer that hasn't chosen to work with you, but then you've like obviously seen down the track, they've purchased, where they are facing that kind of regret, or maybe you've caught up with them years later and they're like, we should have gone through you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing a tale?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Quite a few. And I think probably friends as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people that move in and didn't realise there was mould issues, and there's things I look for when I first go through and things I can see. Some things I can actually see before I even get out there. And a big one is drainage. If you've got a home that's on a concrete slab and it's in a backyard that's sloping up and there's massive retaining walls, like, where's the water going to go? Mm-hmm. And these types of houses, if there's no good ventilation, it's not draining anywhere, it just creates the mold. And I have a mold nose that I can just pick it up, and I always wear high heels, so if ever the floors are uneven,
I know straight away.
Yeah, what's going on. So there's little things that I pick up early on that I think really does help. But it's just, I've had people buy next to service stations. I was thinking of this morning actually. There's some people I know that are so intelligent, like they're really great professionals in what they do, but when it comes to buying property, they're not so great.
Yeah.
Like there's someone I know that lives on a main road next to Housing Commission, opposite a servo. Nice. Mobile phone tower. Like, all it's missing is a freeway, a railway line.
And some power lines.
And like some flooding or power lines. Some people really overlook it.
A quick pause. We'll be right back. Here's a word from one of our sponsors who supports the show. If you've ever chased a hotspot suburb, or maybe you're trying to look for properties in the market and don't know where to start, then Scott Agate is someone you'll want to talk to from Green Shoots Property. Green Shoots Property focuses on identifying market trends before they become a hotspot and then you eventually get priced out. They focus on the trends that actually will show growth and potential in markets before they boom. It's about buying strategically before the growth cycle matures, not jumping in when everyone else is already there. If you want smart positioning instead of trend chasing, then Scott Agate and his team at Green Shoots Property can help you out. His details are in the show notes below. I think like that it comes down to like, how do you weigh up when you're looking at capital growth in particular? Like, going back to what we were talking about earlier, saying if you love it, of course, don't, like this story that we just read out from Reddit, you don't see it as overpaying, right? But then we also don't know all the other details, like, well, what's it near? What's it? Where's it located? How much was the area? Then we can kind of determine that a bit better, right? So we're going by minimal information. How much do you weigh up for someone where you're like, you love the home, but hey, you kind of have to know that it's in a flood zone. There's also bushfire zone. There's also this.
That's so important. Like, location is always number one. Yeah. Like, you can have the prettiest house, but if it's in a crap spot, like, how is that going to help
you out?
Yeah, because it's the land that goes up in value. It's not the house.
And that's why I dislike apartments, because you're buying a room.
You are.
That's it. There's no land, and there's no. I say they're lifestyle choices. Maybe when you're older, if that's what you want to retire into, I totally get it. But outside of that, it's not an investment.
No, and body corporate, and don't get me started. Yeah.
Body corporate.
I've seen some doozies, and I think when people start working with me and we buy them a property, they go, oh, actually, I've got these other properties that haven't done so well. Can you sit down with me and can we look at them? And again, like, another main road, this was off the plan. Oh, it was like less than 40 square metres, so it's hard to get finance. And I helped him, sell it and find the agent and help him along that journey. And luckily, we found a, thank you, Sydney investor, that was all cashed up and paid way too much for it because they didn't know the area. And that was also next to like a big power, those phone exchange places.
Yes.
It's just, so,
so ugly.
Just support choices. And that asset did not really go up in value like in 10 years. So this is what I'm talking about. Imagine if you put that money somewhere else and got your 6% growth per annum for 10 years.
And it goes back to that buyer brief you were talking about that 5-year plan. Like if this is something you're going to sit in for 20 years, you may see a lot of growth, right?
Yeah.
You may not, but you may see a whole heap of growth. In the history of our transactions, though, in Australia, we don't ever have a property market that goes down. Where we have peak periods, absolutely, that aren't trending as nice as they should be, but holding off for another year or two generally means we go back up that way, you know. I find it interesting, like, you know, talking about your own clients, like, especially friends, that's always the hard one. When you see friends make mistakes, it's like, you know what I do.
I know.
Why?
And look, you know, sometimes it's hard when someone really wants the property and they don't want to listen.
Yeah.
You know,
because what do you do with that? Like, how you can't you can only point out the risks as a professional, and ultimately it's your money, it's your decision.
Yes.
But then how much of that, when you see that advice go through to, like, you've given that guidance and they purchased anyway, how much of that regret, it comes back as regret? Like, do you ever find out?
Yeah. I do, eventually they'll go, oh, I shouldn't have bought that.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and do you find that people are happy in that space, but they've got that niggle in the back of their kind of mind that I shouldn't have bought it? Is that always due to overpaying, or is it for different reasons?
I don't think overpaying so much. I think if there's something wrong with the property.
Oh, like a building and
they've
pest.
got to do repairs or restumping, or, you know, bathroom's not waterproofed, or it's just rushing in to buy. They've gone and rushed in and bought it, and they haven't had a build and pest, you know, to know exactly what's going on.
I think this is where, like, we're getting to, like, those highlighting things. It's like overpaying is one reason, right? And that's a perception thing. It could be a reality depending on how much data you've looked at. But overpaying, then you've got the problems that appear pretty quickly after you move in, and it's like, shit, we didn't get a building and pest. Then you might actually go and get one now that you own the house, and you find out that, hey, you kind of have like a list of 20 things to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, crap, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So you've got that layer to add into it. So regret shows up in different ways. So you might feel like you've got a really good deal, paid the cheap as hell price. Then you find out that all this building work hasn't been done and now it's on your plate. Yeah. How do you help people navigate? Like, what can you do?
Well, I think if they've already bought the property and they're living in there and they feel like they've paid too much, they either one have to just suck it up and stay there longer.
Oh, yeah, true.
Is the home are they still enjoying it? Like, can they stay or do they have to go? How much are they going to lose? You know, they might have already done some works to it and overcapitalized. Like, that's another thing to consider too. People often pay premium for something that's already renovated as well. So I'm always looking for things you can add value to, naturally. But I think it's about weighing it up and speaking to your broker, what's it going to cost me? But if it's a property that you can't fix the problems with it and it's not going to perform, you're best just to sell it and move on and
be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a key message there, right? It's like if you're not happy and it's really that bad, it's like, well, let's try and get rid of it, but where it causes the least amount of damage to you financially. Yeah. Because oftentimes, how much would you recommend rent vesting in those scenarios?
I've had a few clients rent vest, and that's a tricky one because you've got to be able to cover the rent and your mortgage. And where is the asset that you own? Like, is that in a good area that actually is going to perform? Because it might not be.
Well, that's the other question, right? Like, and this is where, do you find with your strategies with customers, what are kind of the main strategies, like without giving away the IP of it, of course, but like when we're talking owner occs, right? Do you have like a fundamental strategy that you kind of use a few times with different ones based on scenarios, or is it very tailored and individual?
With owner occupiers in general?
Yeah, in general.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on, again, like how long they want to be there.
Yeah.
So some people come to me and go, look, you know what? We just want to be here for 5 years. We want to renovate it, make some cash and move on.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. That determines where we buy. and what we buy. So, you know, obviously we want to buy in an area that is on the up to get you that capital growth, but then we want to renovate it too. And how much cash do you have? I've had some clients come to me and they're going, oh, I'm going to sell my home and I'm going to buy something I can renovate. And it turned out they actually didn't have any cash to renovate.
Oh, shit.
And she'd already sold.
Oh, crap. Like,
and she didn't reveal to me that she didn't have any extra cash. So we ended up having to pivot and we bought something else that didn't need renovating, and the property suited her perfectly and it was in the area she wanted, but it was not actually why she originally sold her house.
How much do you find that the brief like shifts like from when someone first sits down with you to what you end up purchasing, like as it evolves?
Most briefs shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like after first inspections, would you say, like as in first property that you present, then they kind of start shifting?
I think because I sort of I'm listening to what they want and I'm dissecting it. And when I do the first search, so after we've fine-tuned the brief, I then go away and I'm contacting agents for off markets, I'm looking at everything online, and I've got a spreadsheet and we'll go through that together. And I always throw in, I call it like a mixed bag of lollies. It's our first search. And they're expecting it. I was like, there's some really good ones and there's some ones that are not so good. But why I put them in is because I want to see what your appetite. I'm testing them.
Yeah, you're testing them.
Knowing that. But I'm testing them on the location and their appetite for renovation, and do they like that daggy 70s kitchen, or are they open to like a 90s or 2000 kitchen, or do they want a real modern kitchen?
I like that though, because you're kind of like testing their taste.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I love that 90s style home. That's my vibe. And it's like, interesting. Okay.
Because it changes and they don't realise that.
No, and I think the change comes a lot from you don't know them until you start seeing what they like.
Yeah, that's right.
You start to kind of go, oh, you're different.
Yes. And that's the beauty of going through together.
Yeah.
Because we're having those conversations and I'm taking note. They like this, this and this. And sometimes a couple might not like the same things. So then I'm going, okay, you like a bit of that and you like a bit of that. And we'll, you know, one client, we started looking in Yarraville and we bought in Coburg. So
that's the other thing too.
Yeah. And it was like a commercial, it was a shop with a house at the back. Like it was very different to what we initially started looking at.
Yeah.
So things changed and that's okay.
And I think that's the beauty of having someone to bounce with, because that's where I feel like that overwhelm.
Yes.
For when you're on your own, it's like anything where you go, oh, I'm so confused. Why? I thought I wanted to buy in, this area. Now I want to buy here. Why don't I? Why? And it's like, or they have their heart set on just one suburb and very stubborn and like, honed in. Yeah. And then how often times are you trying to sort of go, okay, that's fine, but let me show you. Like how often does that exercise kind of turn out that whatever they said to you at the onset is different?
It changes nearly every brief. Like, like it really does. I mean, every client, it's very rare that we will get everything that they initially said. Like,
of course.
So that's why we sit down and do the brief at the start. I document it and I send it to them. Yeah. And then throughout, the journey and each week when we're speaking and looking at properties, they'll bring something up and go, oh, that doesn't align with what you originally said in your brief. I said, do you want to change it now? And they'll go, oh, no, you're right. We really shouldn't. I'm getting carried away, because I think they'll fall in love with the property. And again, it's not in line with the strategy.
No, and it starts those sacrifices. Yes. It's okay. Like, work's going to be 20 hours, but we'll do it.
And then sometimes they need to weigh up, well, what is more important? Is it the travel? Do I want to be closer in? Or is it the renovated property or the backyard? Or something always pops up that they realise is more important. Yeah.
I think that's where like your job's so important in that space, to kind of give them that balance and that ear to say, hey, you said this. It's like you're almost like the angel or the devil advocate in the background going,
I know.
No. Yes, but don't you remember this? Oh, yeah, shit, I did say that.
I'm the person on their shoulder talking to them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like right at the end and even during, they would appreciate that way more. I think your communication style, like even just the way you're presenting today and we're talking, like you can tell that reassurance of like you're not I think people misunderstand with advocates that they're not there to just tell you no to everything or yes to everything or push you.
Yeah.
They're trying to work with you. They're like the buyer that you wish you were. They're just buying on your behalf.
Yeah.
Like,
I always think I'm here to guide you. Like, you know, I'm listening to what you want, I'm dissecting it, and then I'm showing you how we can achieve it. So I'm just here to guide you and find what it is you want, because sometimes people don't know actually yet what they want.
And that's why I say it's so undervalued, like at the end, that that support and that communication you have. And that's why your clients probably go, I miss you. What am I doing? It's like, I thought I would just ring you and go, what should I make for dinner? Can you give me a brief?
I know.
Can we do a brief for my dinner?
Well, I could come over and have a wine with you if you really want to go
I'm
through
down.
it.
I think we need you over for a wine night and we'll just put the mics on.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. I'm enjoying this chat so much that I'm looking at the time going, oh, crap, we talk a lot. But it's in the best way possible. Corinne, I think one thing before we kind of wrap up is, you know, if someone is listening right now and thinking, this sounds like me, I'm confused. What should they actually do differently before they go to auction this weekend, for example? If they're listening, about to go to auction, about to make an offer, or they've found that property and they're just totally lost.
Yeah. I think write a list.
Yeah.
I'm a big, you know, pen and paper still. I
Yep,
like to do
me
it
too.
and cross it off. And then get it all out of your head and then go, okay, speak to your broker first.
Mm-hmm.
Auctions are unconditional, so make sure you have your finance sorted.
Please.
Yeah. Get the contract reviewed by a conveyancer. Some conveyancers do free reviews. They do for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure there's nothing scary in there. Make sure you know what you're buying. It's a legally binding document.
Yeah.
Also, have a look at what's sold. Like you're saying before, domainrealestate.com, do a little bit of research, compare them. If you can, go through those properties. You know, if you've got time before the auction, get through them, compare them yourself. Speak to the agent, see what you can find out. And just, I think a lot of what I do is on the ground work rather than just sitting behind a desk, you know, looking at the data. So you get a lot of feel for the area as well. I always say go to the cafes, go to the pub, just immerse yourself in the area. Do a practice drive to work. That's another one. And I personally did that myself too.
I did that too.
Yeah, it's a good one to do.
Yep.
And this is a little bit stalkerish, but I know a lot of people do it, and I did this as well for my home, is drive past the house at different times of the day, because you're living in a street with neighbours. You want to see who your neighbours are.
Well, this is a really good tip, right? Because neighbours, you don't know who your neighbours are.
No.
You have no idea who's moving in. You can't. You're always taking a punt, and unless you're in the housing commission areas, the old housing commission areas with the social housing side, you can know that up front. But anything else is a free-for-all.
I know.
So I love that.
Once I decided not to buy a property, because this was before drones, this was a long time ago, I just had a peek over the fence. And the amount of stuff I saw in the backyard, I'm like, no, I'm not buying this. I don't want to be next to a hoarder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. If I think we've got my parents' house. They have renters next door, and we've always had like different people. But the last lot of people that were renting, oh my God, I'm talking like the front yard, caravans, hot cars, motorbikes, and rubbish. Rubbish upon rubbish. It looked like a garage sale was permanently on.
Yes.
And they got a spa in one day.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing with the spa? And then they never used it. It was just in the backyard, chilling.
Yeah.
They moved out, and the owners, after 15 years of them being there, the owners of that home decided to move in. And, you know, we got to talk to them and say, oh, how was the house? And they're like, a disaster. We've had to just spend $15,000 repairing it.
Yeah, wow.
I'm like, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other episode we need to have you on for, is your investment strategy. How to avoid these nightmare tenants and screen for them, and also work with the right agents in that space.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure it's avoidable in a lot of cases with client screening or tenant screening.
Yes, it is. I mean, I looked at a property rural the other day, and Google Maps is great. You can do the aerial, depending how updated it is. And I was on the phone to the agent, and I said, geez, the neighbours have a lot of cars, like 20 cars.
Oh, my God.
I'm already thinking, not great neighbours. But look, it's for an investment. Areas change long term.
Yeah.
I got there. No.
Really hard no.
So yeah, no, we didn't end up buying it. But yeah, it wasn't just that house. Let's just say it was the whole area.
Okay.
It's a bit like the Bronx.
That's like,
So
we've stepped into the wrong place.
We went to a different suburb.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really does come down to the look and feel as well. It's very easy to sit there on a map and look at data and go, oh, this is getting great yield and this is going to get really good growth. But what type of tenants are you going to get? And what's the area like? And what's the crime like? And how are they going to look after the house?
That's the biggest concern,
Yeah.
I think, is like that right fit tenant, because not all of them are like that. I'm sure majority of tenants are not like that. But what's reported on is always the horror stories of shit tenants. And that's where everyone goes, what am I doing? I'm not buying an investment. But you make
can
great.
get some good ones.
You can. And that last years, when I was in real estate, our property management department had, oh my God, this one guy was renting for 30 years, the same property. Happy as Larry. They didn't put up his rent much. They just let him kind of, he was a good tenant. So they rewarded him with like no rent increases. And back then in Hampton Park, it wasn't an affluent suburb.
Yeah.
Had a rough time in real estate there
Yeah,
in 2010. But it was like $210 a week in rent for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car house on like 700 metre square of land.
Wow.
And they locked that price for him from years ago.
Gee, that's cheap.
Yeah, I think he helped them pay off that mortgage probably in the first 10 years, right? Yeah. So then they were able to just say, let him go.
Yeah, I just bought a property similar to that. Like the tenant was there for 17 years.
Wow.
I bought it off market because there's no way the agents could market it. Like it just looked crap. Tradie. I can see beyond that though. It's fine.
Yeah.
And my clients were actually in Sydney, so I went through for them, did a really good video. And then because I can see beyond that, the tenant's going to obviously move out when that lease is up in July, and then they're going to do a reno and they're going to release it. But the beauty is it's a corner block and we can subdivide. They can do townhouse.
Yep,
and they're going to make a lot of money, which is great.
Yep, because it's that not capitalizing, but like you're using the space to build value. So that's what investing is all about. It's how do you add value to gain it again.
That's it.
So we need to have you back for an investment episode because we unpacked but I hope that helps our owner occupiers out there who have been feeling that pinch or that remorse, like if you're a current homeowner, and if you're a home buyer, we're trying to help you avoid it. So follow these, this episode, these tips, play it in the car on the way to your open, the way to your auction, and have our voices repeat in your head to just make sure you're doing all the right things. So, Corinne, thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your wisdom with our audience and myself. And I just had a ball.
Oh, thanks, Jo. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I would love to have you back anytime. And now coming back to our no BS verdict from the start, so we need to find out.
Yes.
Is feeling like you overpaid doesn't mean you actually did. Do you reckon that's bullshit or not bullshit?
I reckon it's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I reckon
no
it's
bullshit?
not bullshit.
Yeah. All right. I love it because I agree, right?
Yeah.
It's not always the case.
Yeah.
Data will tell you is one thing, but also just if you enjoy the property, if it really feels like home, it's the right asset, and you haven't bought under power lines and in flood zones and in bushfire zones.
I can give you a list.
Yeah, I think we need that checklist attached to this episode. If your property has these things, don't buy it. But no, I really appreciate that. And Corinne, if our listeners just wanted to even have a chat to you, I always say that it's free to have a chat.
Yes.
It's not going to cost anything to pick up the phone and just say, hey, Corinne, I actually think I might need help before I go out this weekend. And then just see where it goes from there. You might find that there's a whole world of knowledge to be learnt from, or a relationship and, a new person to work with and find the right asset. Maybe you're buying the wrong one. So I'd encourage you guys to get in touch. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Is that phone number, email, website? What's the best one?
I think if they want to just look me up, turleyproperty.com.au and just connect with me there. I'm happy to take a call, email, text, whatever's convenient for them. I'll get back to them.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for this episode to come out.
Yeah, Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Of course. And thank you to our listeners for always tuning in. It is always a pleasure to present to you guys, and thanks for being such a loyal community. We'll see you next time on the No BS Real Estate Podcast. You can check out Corinne's profile, website, and all details in the show notes below, as well as on screen. And like I said, it costs nothing to have one conversation. Pick up the phone, have a chat, and get the advice or the guidance that you need. We'll see you next time on the No BS Real Estate Podcast. That's a wrap for this episode of the No BS Real Estate Podcast, powered by Abodi AI. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who might need it. If you're looking for more guidance on your home buying journey, you can visit www.abodi.com.au for expert advice, property insights, and the tools you need to find the right home with confidence. If you're already on your journey, you can also download our app. Just search Abodi AI on the App Store or Google Play. Have any questions or want to connect, you can follow us on Instagram at abodi.com.au or send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.